I'm Jenna, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about snowboard binding and some of the different styles and types. For those of you who have been around the industry for a while, or maybe those who are just starting and learning, having some experience with renting, you'll be familiar with a system called step-in. Essentially what this was is there's a piece on the boot that actually clicked right into a plate on the board. While it was pretty convenient, pretty easy to get in and out of, there was a couple of problems with this. One, they got icy a lot, so all the snow and buildup on the board would be on the bindings, and it was harder to get your feet in and out of. Two, because you weren't getting any support from the binding itself, all of the support had to be in the boot, and therefore the boots were made very stiff, and a lot of times later riders, kids, women definitely weren't able to flex the boot as much as they needed to, and there was just so much energy lost in that transition that it made it almost impossible for the binding to work effectively. So now what everyone's gone to is a traditional strap-in binding, and all this does is you are just strapping the boot right into this binding. So you can adjust it as tight as you need to. Click in, you go. At the bottom of the hill, all you're doing is popping it right off. Now, companies still realize the need for something convenient, something real quick. So there are a couple different models that, a couple different lines that actually are still going to be just as convenient. We have Flow, that's all they make is a convenience system. I'll show you a little bit more specific on that. And then K2 came out with a cinch after discontinuing their version of a step-in binding. Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit more specifically into different strap-in bindings and some of the different features you'll find as you move up into the lines of the bindings. So right here we have kind of a basic strap-in binding, real soft strap, so it's going to be great for entry-level riding. A soft strap is going to be very forgiving, so it's not going to transfer the energy quite as quick as something a little bit stiffer, but you want to get a binding that matches appropriately with your board. So if you're just starting off, a binding with a good stiff strap, or I'm sorry, a good soft strap on it is something you'd be looking for. Padding under the toe and the heel is going to be somewhat minimum, but just a very basic way to get in and out of your binding and way to get on the hill. From there, a lot of times you're going to get, when you move up into sort of a mid-level binding, you're going to get a little bit stiffer strap on it generally, so it's going to transfer your energy quicker to your board. Some of the other things you'll see is you're going to get some of the actual padding on the toe and the heel separate from the padding that runs all throughout the boot, or I'm sorry, all throughout the binding. So that's actually going to absorb a little bit more shock, dampen a little bit more vibration underfoot. You'll also find as you move up generally in the lines, a lot of times the ratchets will go from, or the buckles will go from plastic to an aluminum or something a little bit stronger that'll hold up a little bit better. And as you move up into something more of a higher end binding, you'll find a lot more responsive strap generally. The padding on the high back, under the toe, under the heel is usually going to be a little bit stiffer, a little bit more responsive. A lot of times the whole entire piece under your boot is going to be covered. You might have a piece that runs directly under the plate of the binding, just something else to kind of dampen the vibration, found at maybe higher speeds or more aggressive levels of riding. So one of the things found in usually mid-level on-up bindings now throughout the past couple of years is a difference in toe strap. Burton actually came up with a toe cap system. I'll show you how that works. Basically, instead of riding with the toe strap over the top of the boot, you're going to be riding with it more kind of around the toe rather than on top of it. This does a couple of things. One, it kind of draws the boot back into the binding a little bit better, and then the nice part about it is when the strap isn't directly over the top of your foot like that, it actually relieves a lot of pressure. So a lot of times you'll get pressure points kind of over your toes right there. When the cap's over the front of your toes rather than the top, it relieves that pressure. So a lot of different bindings are doing that. They're not keeping quite the same style as the toe cap, but they're doing either a convertible system where you can ride it up over it like the traditional way, or like that. Or some have a system where the toe strap actually kind of molds around the toe of the boot. So either way, they're kind of doing the same thing. It's just sort of a new style that everyone's going with, and it really just helps the binding fit the boot a little bit more secure. Alright, so as I was talking about before, once step-ins kind of went out of the industry completely, binding companies still wanted to make something convenient, so Flow came out with their system. Now this is developed into a full line with some of the differences in the line being the same as you'd find in a traditional strap-in binding. So the material is getting stiffer and some of the different materials, the foam, the cushioning under the foot. So to show you how this works, I'm going to have Kevin actually step right into this. And you're in, ready to go. So it's really easy, really convenient. You're still getting the support of a regular strap-in binding, but it takes a matter of seconds and you're in. So to get out, all you've got to do is pop latch back and you're out. K2 also has a convenience system. This came about in the 04-05 season after they kind of did away with the clicker, which was their real popular step-in model. And basically, you've got the straps similar to a regular strap-in binding, but you still have the convenience of a step-in binding. And I'll have Kevin show you how that actually works. So you adjust this to the boot once. And then once you slide your foot in, again, just like the Flows, you pull that right up. So you're still getting the feel of a regular strap-in binding if that's what you're more comfortable with, but the convenience that the Flow has to offer as well. And there's a variety of cinch bindings, that's what the model's called, a variety of different levels of performance and some of the different features that they provide as well.